Think big, please don't give up, and just get started. If there's something that's really keeping you up at night, maybe it's really worth losing your sleep over.
Today we have Mallika Sadani with us. Mallika Sadani is the co-founder at the Moms Co, a very well-known brand for baby care products. Mallika, tell us about how your journey started and what the Moms Co actually stands for. What's the ethos behind the brand?
For me, the journey started from a very personal struggle of wanting to find natural, safe, and effective products for my daughters. When I moved back from London, I found it really hard to find good quality natural products for her. And both my daughters also had skin conditions, unfortunately, which needed them to go for fragrance-free, non-allergenic products, which were really hard to find in India. And it shouldn't be so hard for a mom to find a good baby wash or a baby shampoo for her child. And, when I was pregnant with my second child, I just realized that there are zero options available for pregnant women in India. And it was so shocking for me, because in my first pregnancy in London, I had like the whole array of products available to me. And I think combining both the questions and the conversation that were happening between other moms, I realized that there definitely seems like there is a gap in the market which needs to be addressed. The mission at the Moms Co is very, very clear, saying that we want to be mom's trusted partner into a journey of motherhood. So we get into your lives when you're pregnant and stay with you after that for a really, really long period of time.
No, I mean, they absolutely say, right, that necessity is the mother of invention.
Yes.
And in your case, it's so beautifully come out. I'm sure you've seen this segment evolve drastically, right? And as someone who's one of the pioneers in this space, how are you disrupting this space and actually gaining that wallet share?
We're the only company that solves for moms' concerns and needs. And baby care happens to be one of the most important facets of her life, and which is where the baby care products form a part of the Moms Co. But from a company perspective, we solve for all needs of the moms, and that's how we are very different from everybody else. As far as the products are concerned, our products are very differentiated from the already existing bigger players in the market, because we were India's first company to be certified toxin-free by an Australian firm called Safe Cosmetics Australia. So, what differentiates us from a product perspective is that we're natural, we are safe. We back a lot of our claims by clinical trials and efficacy studies that we do to kind of make sure that the promise that the Moms Co makes out and puts out to a lot of other moms is true. And of course, that builds trust with other moms. And then, it's a very chatty community. And we're a very digital first brand. And the advantage is that we can be a part of those conversations very easily. And we're also the first people to react to the changing needs or the requirements of the moms.
When you've earned a mom's trust, you know that you're here to stay, right? Because it's such a delicate and it requires so much effort, and kudos to you and your team for doing that.
Thanks.
At the same time, I don't think this journey would have been without hurdles and challenges, right? Right from the idea to execution, to figuring out a lot of the certifications and creating a brand that is so very loved by moms. Mallika, talk to us about the challenges.
We're a 4-year-old company and we still have a long, long way to go. But, like in the beginning, for me, just when you go ahead and have conversations with like contract manufacturers or product suppliers and ingredient suppliers, the biggest challenge was that if you don't have a background in the field, or if you don't have a backing for it, like, how do I believe you're going to make it big, right? And then the fact that you're a female entrepreneur, there was always a question of saying, do you have a male counterpart who's also going to be there, right? The fact that I signed the checks and gave it to them was like a shocker for them, saying, okay, this is it. So I think just adjusting to the fact that, she's going to build something. When we started, after that, I was very clear that I wanted to make products that I could use confidently and fearlessly on my family and my daughters. So the safety bars that I had set for all products was really, really high. Like, I wanted the best quality products for them. So I set a really high bar on safety. And the biggest challenge I faced was when I was trying to make products, they would be like, I don't know what you're trying to build. This is acceptable in all other products. And I was like, I don't want to use it. Right. And they were like, no, it's kind of acceptable and you should go ahead with it. And those were the biggest challenge. The next challenge at a different phase was hiring the right team. It reached a stage for as founders, you were constantly convincing really good talent to come and join you and join the mission that you had.
So Mallika, as someone who's, been an active part of this ecosystem, has been one of the successful companies to fundraise not once, but multiple times. Have you somewhere seen the ecosystem evolve in terms of how open it's been or how many opportunities it's putting out for women?
I think there's been a massive difference over the last couple of years that I've seen. When we started, I was asked a question saying that, how much time do you spend in the business? And I found it, I just didn't understand the question for a really long period of time, because the gentleman just asked me saying, are you half, 1.5, 1 quarter? And, I was just like, what kind of a question is this, right? And then my partner kind of responded back saying, no, both of us work full time. And I just went like, was that really a question? Like it was really, really surprising for me. But, I got some really fantastic investors initially on, and they had invested on the idea and the passion that we had for building the business. And what I've seen over the last 2 to 3 years, Diksha, is that everyone is trying to bring in diversity in their workforce. Like, just focus on what you want to do. Once you've got your initial round of funding, and now you've got some money to kind of scale. And once you've scaled, then it's your scale that kind of get you more people into the business to have a conversation with you. And then nobody's asking you those questions anymore, right? So it's just about hitting a certain threshold where everyone's kind of having noticed you and they're interested in what you're building. And then, of course, then those questions and biases don't exist. But if you honestly ask me, I've seen a huge, huge change in the ecosystem that has come up, not just from an investor community, but also from everybody else trying to build something as a stronger community for women to help other women as well.
I completely agree with you, and that's the ethos in which we've kind of put together Incubate and Collaborator. And you spoke about success stories, right? I mean, I think one of the bigger changes is that 10 years back we could point out the number of women founders on our fingers. Today there's so many, right? Which just gives people the understanding that we exist and we're coming with this big wave. E-commerce and the way people buy has drastically changed, right? Over the course of pandemic, our lives have changed. So clearly our behaviors have changed. How has that affected your business? Have you seen a positive trend, or are there some negatives also that, you could potentially attribute to this?
And as an online first brand, we were one of the very few first brands to kind of recognize the opportunity that D2C had to offer. So we obviously had an edge over anybody else who was trying to enter at that point of time, because we had the connections with marketplaces. We had our system and ecosystem all set for online. So I think we scaled faster than anybody else could at that point of time, which was an advantage. I think the biggest disadvantage that COVID brought with it was uncertainty and your ability to constantly change tracks. Like last year was supposed to be the year when I had to go like really, really big on my retail footprint, but I had to course correct and not do that and kind of, move monies around from one vertical to the other. So I think it's very important, and what it's taught all of us is that, life's extremely unpredictable. And we have to be on our foot all the time to figure out where is that next opportunity. And
as an entrepreneur who's scaled up and is continuously growing, how and what role do you see banks can play or should be playing, right, in kind of assisting this growth that you are yet to see?
Loans are really, really hard to get for anyone who has not showed profitability for the next period of time, which is like a big roadblock. I think if banks start beginning to take slightly more risk on fewer entrepreneurs and increase their risk appetite, it can be mutually beneficial for both parties. So I think it's a win-win for both if banks can figure out a way to kind of figure who to invest in and also have a little risk appetite for growing businesses.
I think a lot of banks are pioneering those efforts, placing their trust in startups, in entrepreneurs, because ultimately the next wave of innovation is going to come from us. How do you see yourself going from here on, considering the baby care market is growing, and how do you wish to scale up?
I always tell people I would love for Momsco to be one of the global top 3 baby care brands across the world, right? So just getting into a lot more households, building a lot more trust with them is what we're going to be focused on constantly.
What's your business mantra that you can leave us all with?
My business mantra, interestingly, lies on the fact that please do not give up on what you really want to do. Like if you find something you're really passionate about, just get started, because the whole universe and you will find a way to kind of crack that as a code yourself. Always think big. Always think big, because if you're not thinking big, you will kind of face a challenge in hiring the right kind of talent who could help you grow. Because if you're not convinced about your business idea, it's very hard to convince others about. Think big, please don't give up, and just get started. If there's something that's really keeping you up at night, maybe it's really worth losing your sleep over.
Mallika, this was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing these very, insightful tips and your journey with us.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.